Hey guys, today I want to talk about Infinity Hash and their transparency reports. What does that mean? They just posted their transparency report for July. It's number 11. You can see it on the official tweet here. And you can always check and download all transparency reports on the blog. You click here and you go to the Infinity Hash blog where you can see all the transparency reports posted here as PDFs that you can download. So let's go and check out the latest one. And we can go and basically check it out. It's quite big. Let's see, the number 11, it's how many pages? 30 pages. Okay. So let's zoom in a bit so that you can see a bit. The introduction is about a community project. When building a community project with financial incentives, trust is the foundation for the long-term success of such an endeavor. This monthly transparency report gives a complete insight into the mining hardware, profit data, and energy expenses of the Infinity Hash project for the time period of the July month, basically. So here's the profit overview. Okay, here's the generated total, paid out profit, the wallets on TronScan. You can check those out. Reinvest electricity. You can go on TronScan and see those transactions. Everything is transparent on the Tron blockchain. Why are they using the Tron blockchain? For two reasons, and not the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay. That's for two reasons. Because first of all, it's easier to figure out the costs when it's USD. Unfortunately, we still haven't gone to a Bitcoin standard. So telling you the SAT value of something while the price is going up and down is a bit hard to think about. So in US dollar terms, it's easier. Obviously, we can't use exact US dollars. So we're using USDT on Tron, which is one of the most widely used. And then you can figure out what the expenses are. So there's a hardware overview, new miners added, and it goes on and on and on. The transactions, the purchases of those miners, and the worker ID, you can see here, Infinity Hash number 256, from the Reinvest wallet, share sale. I'm not sure what that means. I think that means that they got a bargain price. No, shares, obviously. Sorry, from selling shares then. Selling shares to the community. So that's where the funds came from, and they bought this number 602 S19 miner, and it goes on and on and on. You can even check every single one of these. So I made a summary, and let's go to the beginning and talk about it a little bit. So this is the transparency report. In short, this is about the profit overview, wallet information, the energy and hardware expenses, the new miners added, the repair costs, and the hardware composition. Okay. The monthly profit, 2 Bitcoin, basically, 2 Bitcoin 0.09. Okay, that's the generated total. That's the total amount that the entire mining farm of Infinity Hash, the community project, made on this month. The problem is that this has been the worst period ever for miners. So prices are low. Hash price is very expensive. Electricity costs are very high. So you can see that it's close to 70% of the profits are energy costs. So the Infinity Hash project sends half of the payouts to the shareholders. Okay, so they paid out half. So this, if you multiply this by 2, so 0.0, let's say 0.8, that's what the actual profit was, and 50% goes into the shareholders, you and me. and depending on how many shares we all have, and the rest went to expenses and the reinvest and repairs. So here's the reinvest wallet, 23,500,000 US dollars in USDT. The power consumption was $84,000. That's a hefty power bill, but that's what happens when you have entire gigawatts basically of miners. Okay. This is a summary again. The reinvest in electricity wallets are publicly available by Tronscan. It's what we mentioned earlier. You can just go to tronscan.org and grab this address, and you can see all the transactions. You can find all these in the dashboard. It's very easy to find on the dashboard. This is just a summary so that I can make this video. So this has been the energy and hardware expenses. This is just for the month of July 2024, by the way. Total power draw was 2,500 kilowatts. Okay, that's in 1,000 watts. Average draw per miner is 3,500 watts. That's basically the average of these miners. For example, I have an S9 here. It's 1,400 watts. And this is very old, it's 7 years old. So the new miners are basically two S9s put together with a power, with a PSU on them, and basically it's 2 times that much. And as you can see, because all our miners are on that range, it is an average draw of this. The monthly cost per miner is 118 US dollars, and the average cost per kilowatt hour is 0.045. That is ridiculously cheap. That is very, very competitive, because the current location is using very nice, very green energy, which is from a hydroelectric dam in the Ural area, in the mountains of the southern Urals. The cost is very competitive, like compared to the other miners that are at this level, they have twice that average cost. And Infinity Hash is creating new infrastructure that will bring down that cost even more. Since I mentioned it, let's go to the roadmap. So this is the roadmap that is planned ahead for the next 2 years. So this is the current location, Southern Urals, hydro energy. Okay, this is set up, it's perfect, it's working right now. It only has like 700 miners, and its capacity is about 3,000 miners, 3,000 ASICs. The location that is being built right now in Northern Asia will start at the end of year, maybe November, maybe later. There are many factors, but as soon as that happens, we will have 0.015 kilowatt per hour, which means that it's a third of the cost of the current cost that is already quite cheap. And that's because of the flare gas energy. What does the flare gas energy mean? It means that you go to these oil rigs, basically, that they need to have a flared gas. Okay, you have to, it's part of the process. You have to burn the oil, basically, it's part of the process so that you can process it. This goes into the atmosphere. This is wasted energy. This is just pollution. It happens anyway. Even if you remove Bitcoin from the equation, it's going to happen anyway, because people need oil and people need petroleum products like plastics. Everything is plastic that we use. So these locations, they do them in the US because they have many isolated spots with oil rigs and flared gas. And we go and cap that, basically, literally put a pipe on that and grab that gas that would have gone into the atmosphere. And you put that back into a generator, and you run that generator, and it creates electricity. And you plug it next to, you put a miner next to that, and you plug it in, and it works, and it recaptures around 90% of the wasted energy. So that is free energy. It wasted energy. There is no other way to use it because it's in places that they are very remote. You can't run power lines to take advantage of that. So in that way, Infinity Hash remains green with renewable energy sources. So that one in Northern Asia is going to start the end of year, possibly in November, and it's going to start happening. And we're talking about a third of the power cost. It's already very cheap, and we're talking about a third of the power cost. And the next location being worked on right now is in Ethiopia, which is going to be yet another hydro energy dam, which is going to be even cheaper than the one that is operating right now. So you can see that the roadmap is very, very bullish. We can talk about the next ones, but let's move on to this one. And you can see that it's a great investment. New miners added. 77 new miners were added this month. The actual hash rate during production may fluctuate, of course, firmware updates, temperature changes, some repairs. And in summary, we added 12 T21 miners, 61 M50. M50s are very dependable. They're a workhorse. That's why the majority of the miners are M50. And that was a conscious decision made by Infinity Hash to start with something that we know it works. That's why you can see a ton, I think close to 500 of the miners are all M50s. And two M60s, you can see that they're 170 terawatts, they're more powerful, they're the newer model, and two S19s. Okay, these are the total of miners that were plugged just this month. Okay, from the shares that were sold and from the Reinvest wallet. The repair costs, that's unavoidable, and that's the important thing to think about when you're trying to get into mining. Most miners don't realize that these are the problem areas. It's not just buying a miner, you have to repair it somewhere. And when you have to repair it, that means downtime. It doesn't matter if you've got a very efficient miner. It doesn't matter if you have a good price on your electricity. If your miner is down and your 50% of your hash rate is down and you have to send it for repairs, you have to find somewhere to fix it. It's all downtime, it's all shipping costs, it's all expert costs. That is all covered by the experts from the parent company of Miatech, which is 10 years in this business. 10 years in Bitcoin is a lifetime. So they know pretty much the entire industry inside and out, and they have their own repair crew, they have their own experts, and they can just ship it next door and fix it with spare parts that are readily available and with people who know what they're doing. So you can see they had to repair 3 board repairs. That's pretty much normal. PSU. The report is telling us for Infinity Hash miner 030, it's that specific miner had to have these repairs, $780. For this specific miner, board repair, 2 chips, additional repairs, small repairs, big repairs. So you can see that the entire farm is creating a whole thing to keep it running because it's a machine and everybody loses when the miners are not online. Okay, and here's an overview of the miners in the project. The total active miners are 681. That's in July. In August, we plugged in a little bit more. They're all air-cooled except one miner, which is hydro-cooled. And I'm guessing they added that one just to play with it as a gadget. I'm not sure if the farm is going to transition to hydro-cooled. It has pros and cons. Basically, it has a lot of benefits. It has a lot of problems. It's more expensive. It requires a different setup, but it keeps everything nice and cool, and it's much better for the actual machinery. Hydro cooling is very, very, very interesting, but it depends if it's profitable or not. We can ask that in the Telegram group. The Infinity Hash team is very quick to reply. So we can ask if we're going to shift to more hydro-cooled, or this is just an experiment, or if it's a gadget that the guys want to play with, I want to play with that as well. So I'm not singling them out, but I'm just saying it. We only have one hydro-cooled miner. All the other miners are air-cooled, so you can see the majority is M50, like I said, and the M50S, total 625 miners, and the newer M60s, which are a little bit more powerful. I remember the T21 is also the one that has plenty of hash power, and the majority of S19 again, which is a dependable model like the M50. So S19, M50, M50S, those are the workhorses, and the other ones are the newer that have a little bit more hash power. So that's basically the transparency report in short. I suggest you go to the Infinity Hash page and you check it out. You start playing around here with the calculator, year 1, year 3, for example. Check out the APR. Read what's happening. These are some articles that have covered the project. As you can see, we are at 14 Bitcoin lifetime rewards, and that's for a single year of operation. Again, this project is only 1 year old, Infinity Hash, but the parent company is more than 10 years old, and it knows this business inside and out. So you get the best of both worlds. You get a startup that has people who know what they're doing in this very, very competitive industry. So go to infinity-hash.io, and once you click here on start earning today, you will end up with this to start. You can just use your email. It's non-KYC. Even for your email, you can use a throwaway email. It doesn't matter. If you use the coupon code, the referral code LOVEISBitcoin, you can get 10% extra shares when you first purchase. And you just click register and you get an account. And you can just go in, check out the dashboard. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. But I suggest you check it out because right now the share price is around $2, and that is one of the lowest it has ever been. I remember in the beginning, like 10 months ago, it was around $1. So it went up because of the halving, because their mining rewards were bigger. And right now, like I said, all the miners have problems with payouts. Infinity Hash has no problems at all because everything is paid for and everything is without loans. Every piece of machinery is bought for, and we keep expanding. So the price of $2 before the halving, it was around $10. It is ridiculously cheap. So I suggest that you go there, sign up, use the referral code LOVEISBitcoin for the extra 10% shares on your first purchase. And we can talk about the future of Infinity Hash a lot more. Okay. Thank you. Go sign up. Send me a DM if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to talk about it with you. Thank you.